Friday, Mount Juliet. It is National EMS Week alongside the Mayor, James Maness, and our Fire Chief, Mark Foulks. I'm Justin Beasley, your Communications Director. Really want to use this time to, respect our EMS program that we have here for a little more than a year now and really just show appreciation. I know that you've had a lot of community partners this week and come by and fed the fire department and also shown their appreciation. And last but not least, the Mayor coming here as well and showing his appreciation. Mayor, what do you think of this week and today and getting to mix it up with some of our brave men and women?
Tell you what, it's a great week. It's always a good week when we honor our first responders in any way, in any capacity. They do so much for us. The dedication to the commitment, to the training, sacrifices from family, everything that they do. We can't do enough to honor them, what they do to serve this community.
Mark? What do you think?
Absolutely. That's what this entire week's about, and we try to recognize and give a lot of recognition to our personnel all year long. But this is a dedicated week that kind of talks about emergency medical services. But our level of emergency medical services in this community is unbelievable.
Right.
For what you have in other communities, we're only one of 10 in the state of Tennessee that provide transport EMS. One of 10 fire departments there. We have a lot of coverage. Every station that we have has an ambulance in it, so all of our zones are covered by their own ambulance, essentially. And so we added that third ambulance in October of this past year. And so that's made an incredible difference for our response times, the level of service that we're able to provide. And the biggest thing, as the Mayor said, is about our personnel. Their heart for caring for people. I mean, it's unbelievable, the things that they do and the way that you see them care for people out here on a daily basis, answering calls, and I should say daily basis, day and night. I mean, all the time, 24/7, all the time, answering calls at all hours.
Mayor, I know that obviously you support this because it has to go through the elected body and somebody that really spearheaded this, but also tell me, you've had discussions with other mayors of those 10 that have, EMS departments within fire, and I'm sure you're on board with understanding now what they're telling you about the importance of you got to have this thing and it's got to be a well-run machine.
Yeah, we talked to some out there that they were kind of in the similar situation that we had. And, talk about that, some of the history, what they go through, the struggles that they had. And all of a sudden they're like, we fired this thing up. And I said, well, before we go on, tell me this. If you announce right now to the public that you were going to go back to the old way of doing things, well, yeah, he goes, I wouldn't be the mayor anymore. I mean, it's just, and we've seen that. I mean, with the level of service that's being provided, and it's service that's dedicated here for community. I mean, you're talking about a community of Mount Juliet here. I mean, as far as emergency services, we're definitely a community. We're punching above our weight when it comes to what we're able to offer the citizens out here. And it's been what we're now going on. We started this about 12 with the fire department, come live in 13.
Yep.
So we're at a point now where we're about to hit that 11th birthday.
Yep. This fall will be 11th
fire
birthday.
Service. And of course, we've added EMS service on there, right? And you got people that have lived here in this community. They just think the fire department's always been here. And we've always had fire service, but we've not had our own fire department. And it's something right now that it works so smoothly in the services that it offers. You would believe that this thing had been in operation for the entire 50 years of the city, but it started with, I'll say, humble beginnings, and it's grown to what it is right now. And it's first-class service that the citizens are getting here.
I'd be remiss that I mentioned not only spearheaded the EMS department, but also the fire department. You had a lot to do with that as well, Mayor. And I think if to steal a line from you, Mark, that you took this job because of the elected body's dedication to this department. It's a big reason why you chose Mount Juliet.
Absolutely. And I introduced the mayor to someone, our medical director. That's the first time he met our new medical director the other day at our station too.
He's always so busy.
And I introduced him when I introduced him to Dr. McKinney the other day. I said, this person is the most responsible person out of everybody for our fire department existing today is Mayor Maness. And I truly believe that. And he had a heart to see this happen. He had a heart for his community to have that level of service. He had a vision for it when a lot of other people couldn't see it. And I think that it was just amazing that he did all of this to get us rolling as a fire department. And where we've come to today is just a testament to a great board of commissioners that we have and the support that we get from them and community support. I mean, because community's not supporting it, they're not going to vote for it, obviously. And the community really supports us well. All the attention and accolades that our personnel get from our community. I mean, it's in a lot of places that you work, there's a lot of complaints and you don't really hear about the good stuff.
Right.
In our community, it's probably 8 to 1 good stuff versus complaints, because everybody is really happy with the level of service, and they're really appreciative to have that level of service here.
Very blessed to live in a community where first responders are appreciated, but that doesn't tell the whole story. It's like they're cared for, they're loved on.
Absolutely.
Somebody's always bringing by food. Somebody's always saying thank you to police, fire out in the community, which is a huge deal. Mark, we just saw an ambulance come back to the station. Can you just, if somebody's watching and doesn't know how many fleet we have, how many we have on staff, and the difference in personnel for having how many on shift compared to, say, like when you saw it, March 2020, the unfortunate event when you came here, and the difference that we have in staffing to be ready. As we called it the other day, there's never been a safer time in Mount Juliet than now.
Not at all. And the staffing now, when I came here on that night, I asked Chief Leftman, how many people do you have working? And they had called some people in, so he said 9. Mm-hmm. And I think at the time they had about 22 people on shift or so. And so even before the ambulance service came about, the Board of Commissioners had increased the staffing levels within the fire department alone. But when the ambulance service came on board, it really increased the staffing to make sure that we cover that very well and have all the personnel that we need. But we currently have 79 personnel total in the department. The majority of those, 72 of them, work on shift. And so there's, a little bit of a staff to kind of make all this thing happen with training and a lot of other things like that, but everybody else is on shift. And so we have 24 people per shift, whereas in the past we had 22 people total. And so there's a lot of people serving the community all the time where we can keep those service levels up to the level that we need to. But we operate 3 what we call engine companies. Those are the pumper trucks that we have, the fire trucks, one out of each station. We operate 1 aerial ladder, which is currently here at the tower behind us. It is here at Station 1 on Belinda. When we build the new Station 3 up on Old Lebanon Dirt Road, this truck will go to that new station. That way it'll be centralized in the middle of the city, whereas right now it's kind of on the south end, which is our busiest side of the city, but it's there. And then we have 3 ambulances running out of each station. We also run quick response vehicles with those ambulances on a lot of occasions because, the ambulance has 2 personnel on it. Sometimes you just need a lot more than that, especially on those high acuity calls like CPR in progress and respiratory distress or respiratory arrest, things like that we really need a lot of help on. And so we have them run calls as well on those trucks that keep our fire engines in service to run additional calls.
In layman's terms, to the residents, you're well taken care of.
Absolutely.
Well equipped and ready. And
100% well taken care of. Yep.
That's awesome. Mayor, if I have missed anything, this is your chance to just show your appreciation. I think you got a surprise too.
I do, but I'll say this. We talk about the starting of this thing. There's a lot of people that are involved. There's a lot of people that took a chance on making this happen. There were a lot of people involved with this long before I ever got involved with elected office that had a vision and a dream to come along. And I was just very fortunate enough to get connected with the right people that knew. We didn't know how all the pieces were going to go together, but we did know this. Getting it started was where it was, and that's brought us to this point. And that's the most important point right here is honoring the guys, the men and women that are on the front lines that do this day in and day out.
Absolutely.
And are responding at a moment's notice to take care of the citizens here in Mount Juliet, because we really do have a department to be proud of. And the taxpayers, the residents here that have invested in this thing, I mean, you're seeing the rewards, you're seeing the fruits of the labor that's been put in to make this happen here. And I couldn't be more proud. So with that, I do have a proclamation here. And I'm going to present this to our fire chief. And this is a proclamation that is honoring Emergency Medical Service Week here in the city of Mount Juliet. Of course, it's been celebrated nationwide. And I was told earlier, this is the 50th anniversary of this week, honoring our first responders or EMS week. So, Chief, congratulations and thank you for the job you do, the department that you run, the accountability, the culture that's been created here. This is something for not just you to be proud of, not just for me to be proud of, but for the whole community to be proud of what we have here in Mount Juliet.
Thank you so much.
Yes. It's been said lately a lot that safety is the absolute #1 priority for any city. Yes. At least it should be. And I think the elected body has done as great of a job as they can, and will continue to do that to make priority #1 safety. So
yep,
it all goes hand in hand.
We say that as an alarm is going.
They're getting a call right now.
Yep,
so you can actually show them going out if you want to.
Yeah, and that's our time to say goodbye. Y'all say goodbye, and let's show them running out to the call.
Bye, everyone.
See you. Thank you.
Thank you.